So, babe, would you say that we've grown well together? What's it been? What, 15, 16?
Since 2005.
So 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say yeah. We grown. We definitely grown.
I said well.
Yeah, absolutely. Much
Together.
better.
Yeah.
If you
Much
think about
better.
where I was specifically, like just on communication alone and letting things go, yes.
Have I made any like drastic or like changes or growth like that, like you did there, would you say? Or was I already like pretty perfect?
I mean, you were beyond perfect when I met you. I was like, I aspire to be as perfect as her. No, you have made changes of like your tone. You try to watch your tone. You try to watch your facial features because you know how that does. Your face says it all.
Do I have a better handle on my face now?
You're still working on it. It's a work in progress, but it is better than what it was.
Because
yeah,
I wouldn't know that my face went bad until it was too late. Everyone's already offended.
Woo, girl, you have facial features that are
features,
not features, expressions. Yeah, facial expressions that would cut a pizza fresh out the oven. Chop a man down at the knees.
I'm sorry. I feel for you, bro. Welcome back for more to the story.
Yeah, we back in it whole.
I'm Farron Moore.
I'm to hear more. You know what's going on.
And I'm so excited. So
you so excited?
I'm so excited.
It doesn't sound like it. It said monotone voice that you do.
That's just how I sound, though.
That's how you sound at work. Okay? We're not at work. We're working, but it's like this is fun work. So just
But I am like, don't listen to my tone. Like my insides are like just bubbling over. They're just like with excitement.
That is.
See?
Yeah.
That was the sound.
That's better.
That was accurate as fuck. So today we're talking about relationship growth. Growing together, all that good stuff, especially with the terrible beginnings of the marital union.
Woo!
It was terrible. Words. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about us. I'm just talking about marriage as a union.
Right.
Period. In history had a terrible beginning.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that people are still signing up for this shit.
Marriage is stupid.
How you making it work?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Yeah. It's kind of hindsight's 2020 and it's kind of like, why did you do this?
Yeah.
But then now that you're in it, and it's not even about the person, it's just about what it means as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, why did I do it? And now that I'm in it, how do I make it work?
You know what's crazy? I was on, whose podcast was I on? We were talking about marriage. I can't remember.
Keon's?
Was it Keon's? No, I can't remember whose it was, but I was like, "Yo, marriage is stupid as fuck." Like, yeah, it's. No, it was that focus group I did. I was the focus group I was telling you about it, and I was like, "Yo, the institution and what it was meant to be is dumb as fuck."
What
like,
it's supposed to represent.
Absolutely, all of that. Like the fact that you're picking a person to say, "I want to spend the rest of my life with you, for better or for worse. You are it," and you do this type of shit in your 20s. And you don't realize that you are constantly changing. Like, I don't even like the same food, the same pizza toppings from my 20s that I do now.
And also on the other side of that, it's like you having the audacity to ask somebody else to sign on to be with you through all of your changes and just deal with it. Just stay along for the fucking ride. Like,
yo, it's great. It is, but that's what love would do. Love. I always say it, love is enough to get married, but it's not enough to stay married.
Right.
You have to work at that shit. You have to want
to be there.
And you have to want to do it. It's like work, not in the sense of...
It becomes more, instead of an emotional attachment, it becomes more logical. It's like, I am choosing to be here. Like that very sad poem that Janet Jackson did for Colored Girls.
Yeah,
when she was
I don't
like,
remember that.
I loved you. I didn't think so. But she was like, I loved you on purpose. I was with you on purpose. And she was like, she's very strong very strong-headed, very independent woman
Yeah.
who did not by any means feel like she needed a
Absolutely.
companion, feel like she needed a partner. She wasn't trying to have kids, so she was with him because she logically, like, she chose to.
She made it. She made
the decision to be there.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what it becomes. It's like my emotional attachment is not what's keeping me here. It's me. I'm choosing to do this. So
You find out a lot about a person too when you're married to them. I feel like you find out sometimes more than when you're in a relationship. I don't know if it's like the more carefreeness. I mean, carefreeness, or like you get older, or you get tired of trying to hide your insecurities or inhibitions or what your shortcomings, whatever it may be. But like you learn a lot about a person too. I feel more in a marriage than you do in a relationship. The relationship should show you all the red flags that maybe you need to explore and address before you get married. But like it's different with marriage. Like even for us, like I don't like kids particularly. Like I don't think they're cool. A lot of times I think they're shit. Like a lot of people have shit kids and they want to bring them over your house. Be like, yeah, it's my
and
kid.
they're sticky and
Yeah,
they're touching
they
shit.
touching shit. They ain't got no home training. Because everybody raised their kids differently. Everybody runs their household differently. You know, so I try to be very vocal about not liking kids. So when people bring them over to the place, they know like, hey, y'all sit y'all ass down because he's liable to kick you. Like I'll kick the kid. I'll kick the shit out of the kid. And Farron, when we first got together, I used to talk about how much I don't like kids. And I think she thought it was like, just like, somewhat of a farce, or is it a long running joke?
I thought it was like a stage thing.
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was a
he's
stage
saying
thing.
that out there.
And then like one day I think she heard me talking about it in depth, how much I think kids are just horrible people existing on earth, taking up space. And she looked at me, and the look I had never seen her give me before. She was like, if I had known you felt this strongly about kids, I don't know if we would have got married. And it was in that moment that I knew that we had got to a different level of real, because she had never ever said anything like this. But I guess maybe in that moment I had never gone that much in depth about how much I despise kids. And here's the thing. The idea of kids, the sacrifices that you have to make, and being
just
a
your own personal
Then
experience.
my personal experience is 70%.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, my personal experience fucked up 70% of why I don't like kids. Like the whole getting a kid, being with the kid for 4 years, and then finding out he's not your kid. That fucked up most of it, right? But then there's also the aspect of like the sacrifices that come with kids. Like, but on the flip side of that, one day I was thinking about all the sacrifices that you have to make, like putting dreams on hold, taking jobs that you don't want to just because you have to pay bills, staying up late, helping the child with homework, staying in an abusive relationship, or whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically, for the sake of the kids. All the things that you sacrifice for a kid, like I that shit just made me feel some type of way. But I also, on the flip side, thought about all that my mom did, because she did each one of those things. Like my mom had such big plans, and then she got pregnant with me and had to take a job she didn't want, and then she got in a relationship. It was very abusive, physically abusive, and she stayed there because the relationship, even though it was abusive, it provided stability, like living and dwelling, that type of thing. So I thought about all the stuff that my mom did for me, and one day I cried about how much I realized she sacrificed, and I called her and just told her how much I love her. So it strengthened our bond in that moment. But I also think about, like I said, the sacrifices of not, now your child is firstborn, you're not going anywhere, especially like someone like us, like we got a kid now, like we don't have family out here, so we're not going anywhere for a year and a half to 2 years, because you're not trusting nobody with your newborn baby like that. Right. So that part, like no concerts, no traveling, no vacation, no camping, no movies, all that. Like, cause one of my biggest pet peeves is people coming to the movies with their newborn babies. Like, why the fuck did you bring a baby in here? That's like bringing your dog to Target. That dog don't know what the fuck is going on. There's too many people. It's too loud. They don't want to be here. It's the same thing with the movies with a baby. Get that punk ass, fuck ass baby the fuck up out of here.
And what's crazy, because I never felt the pressure or the need to have another kid. So it wasn't like I understood your energy, your feelings towards kids, because I'm not a baby person.
Yeah.
when I hold a baby now, I look awkward as fuck. I don't know what to do with this. My kid's 15. Like, don't trust me for long like this. It's gonna fall.
It's
But
gonna fall.
but coming into the relationship with such a young kid that sometimes we had to put our plans on hold, or it was like just this, you pouting because you want to go, and I'm like, well, we don't have a babysitter, so fuck it, nigga, just go, and I'll stay home. And that was causing so many rifts. So you saying, us experiencing that on top of you saying, oh, I hate kids, was like a double punch, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we got past it, and thank God for, kids can, the plus side is that she's old enough to stay at home on her own now.
Yeah.
So, but it was the first few years where, because you didn't, anything you wanted to do, you went from anything you wanted to do, you just fucking went to having to consider, do I want to go, and do we have a babysitter?
Yeah.
Like, to have to pause. So I had to really think about your side of the situation, and, how you felt coming from only being concerned about you to being concerned about two whole other people.
And now throw a fucking dog in the mix. Right, it's not like a cat where you could leave food, and cat's smart enough to ration out his food for, a couple days. Now we got the dog who is fucking helpless, who don't know how to shit nowhere but on the carpet or pee on the carpet. And now we got to find somebody to watch this fucking dog. Now this is a kid that will never move out.
He's so cute.
He's not that cute. He's not that cute.
When he looks up at those eyes, he's so cute. He's so fucking.
You see what I got to deal with, Cam? You see what I got to deal with? Fuck kids.
So
fuck
cute.
pets.
It's sometimes where, like, I don't see him, or because he's the kid's dog. So it's like I just am completely detached from his existence for a few days, and then once I catch a glimpse of him, it's like, oh, I love you.
Meanwhile, I catch a glimpse of him. I was like, little fucker peed on the carpet the first day in the new place.
Oh my
We've been in the place
God.
for almost a month, and I still have not forgiven him for that. I don't interact with this dog at all.
He's a dog. He's a baby.
He's not a see. That's
No,
what Farron
because
does.
no,
Farron
dogs,
says he's a
dog-
baby.
no,
This dog
shut
is
up,
7 years
shut up.
old.
Dogs
which
have
is
the
35.
even full-grown dogs have the mentality of like a two-year-old for their entire lives. So they're babies all the time. He will never not be a baby.
Police dogs have the mentality of a 6-year-old racist white man. So I don't know how that works, but I guess German shepherds are different.
Oh my God, how did we get here? Wait, do we need to pause for you to check to make sure it's still on? Because we don't have Brendan in here to give us a nod or anything.
I'm pretty sure it's good. Yeah, just keep going.
So, anyway, so just a little history on the origin of marriage, then we're going to speed right past it. So marriage in its, I guess, today's sense has been around for over 4,000 years. And its sole purpose was just to have kids. Like,
just to procreate.
Yes. And and a woman was always like, she was seen as a man's property. Her dad gave her away to another man. And that was like in its literal sense. This is mine. I'm giving it to you. That was a literal sense. And in ancient Greece, men used to actually say, like the dad would say to the man, I pledge my daughter for the purpose of producing legitimate offspring.
Wow.
Like it was that's
very transactional.
Exactly. So
that feels like sex slavery. Yeah.
Yes. But if you think about In The Color Purple, when Mr. what was his real name? Albert came by to he wanted Nettie, but he was given Celie, but he was like, no, you cannot have this one. You can have that one. She's been soiled twice. She had been pregnant twice by the time he came around. But it's like, I'll give you that one. He was basically like, I just need a woman here to take care of the kids and keep the house clean.
Right.
Like that was it.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, it was very just sad and transactional. Oh, and in some cultures, if a woman failed to have kids,
Mm-hmm.
he could legally give her back.
Oh shit!
So now she's tainted and she'll never fucking get married again.
Right.
Because the only reason I'm marrying you is for you to have kids, and now I know that you can't. But the thing is, sometimes that's the man's fault, and you've just ruined my reputation and my chances of getting
Right.
married because you
You run
are
around
the one shooting
fucking
blanks.
man. I mean,
Yes.
killing clouds and shit. You ain't hitting nothing. Ah, that's weak as fuck.
Yes.
Give them back. That sounds.
He could
so
legally
bad.
give them back and marry someone else. Like there was no whole divorce proceeding thing. It was just like this one's broke. Take
That's
it back.
crazy.
Yeah. So
Damn.
so
Hey,
men,
humans be fucked up, bro. Humans, we've come up with some fucked up
Yeah.
shit, bro.
So and women didn't get any respect in marriage until the first century.
Mhm.
This is the one good thing that came out of religion coming down. The one of the good things. I'm sure there's more. I haven't found them yet. Roman Catholic Church started basically made it law, I guess, in a way, since church and state was all mixed up back then.
Uh-huh.
Men had to show greater respect and forbidden from divorcing. So it's like now, regardless of what's going on,
Mhm.
you have to like this is your person.
Right.
You can't just be out here all crazy like, oh, this one's broken, I need a new one. And also teaching them to stay faithful, like forcing men to stay faithful and with the mindset that their bodies belong to each other.
Right.
So that's good. The concept of marriage was actually invented by the French.
Really.
I did not know that. Which I mean, why would I? Because
Yeah.
I've never bothered looking this up. I probably should have before I signed away my life, but too late now.
Gotcha, bitch. I moved her ass out here where it was too expensive for her to make it on her own. It's like, we got to stick it out. How you like that? Trapped her without the baby.
All facts. No, in real talk though, like I wouldn't have been able to make it out here on my own, but I could have just as easily just gone back to Illinois
Yeah, but I mean,
if I was gonna tap out.
Yeah.
Because Val would have been here in a heartbeat helping
Oh,
pack
man.
up shit.
her mama would have came. Her mama loves me to life.
Still would. If
But
I
at
called
this
and was
time,
like,
yeah, at any point, she'd be like, this is over. I need help packing up. Oh, baby, I'm on the first thing smoking.
yes, she
She
would
would
be
be.
here. In addition to being on her way here, she's sending me money
Mm-hmm.
to get out. Girl, run.
I'm going to make that pack up uncomfortable. I'm going to just be sitting on the top of the stairs with my dig out. Every time y'all take a box by me, you just got to see it. I might paint it red just to draw more attention to it. Hey,
just-
red light,
You
green light.
you
Red
hit
light.
the line and then it's like you see it and you cross it
Oh,
on
I see that
purpose.
motherfucking line when I'm going 90 miles an hour. It's too late for me to stop.
It's not. You always have time. So with marriage's like fucked up beginning, it's like, okay, now I'm in it. How you make it work?
Mm-hmm.
And you hear people say, oh, you gotta grow together. Well, what the hell does that mean? And I found, what is this? On lifehack.org.
Mm-hmm.
11 tips that help couples keep growing in a relationship.
You know what?
I love them because they're always so bad.
These things are never written by people who I feel are like real people. I feel like these are always by people who want to just be so PC. You and your partner need to sometimes you're going to be mad as fuck at that young lady, right?
Yes.
You might need to take a moment or even get a room to yourself and do whatever, but you have to remember why you got in it.
And do whatever. What does whatever consist of?
No, I'm saying like get a room and like stay overnight. That's what I mean. I didn't mean like do whatever. I mean like do whatever you need to
I'm
take
just
to
saying,
cool off.
clarify yourself.
Do whatever you need to do to cool off for that night. You know what I'm saying? Take a couple hours or take the night is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Trying to say.
Yeah. Like take some breathers and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And you know me, I was not about the breather. I was all about, no, this came up right now. We finna hash it out right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I respect the breather now. So this one is so crazy. The subject, this how bad you know it is. The subject says 11 tips, but the first sentence is, here are 10 thoughts. They tapped out. But it says, you don't have to settle, and you can grow your relationship and make it something that continually enhances your life, which I was like, oh, that's good. But I just feel like it's just so broad, like you said, so PC,
Yes.
keeping it so freaking
Yes.
safe. But I do like, from that though, I got what we always said about us,
Making it
making
our
it
own.
making it your own. Your experience is what you make it, because you had such a terrible, from my opinion, a terrible view of what marriage was, that I was like, if I thought marriage was what you thought it was, I would have never fucking got married.
Listen, I used
Why?
to say,
I like literally ask you, why did you do this? If
I
that's what
used to
you
say,
thought it was.
happy wife, happy life, right?
Ugh,
and she
that shit's-
hated
I
that.
still hate it.
She hated it. She be like, when you want to do this? I'm like, I don't care. Happy wife, happy life. And that was just my answer to, like, this is back before I knew how to, like, I was better at communicating. So, like, if I didn't like what she said, I would just go with it just to keep the stress and the strife down. I didn't feel like talking about it. I didn't feel like voicing my opinion. I'm
But
just like,
all the while just breeding resentment.
yeah, because I didn't know how to tell her. Like, I'm one of those people, like, when you love somebody, you hate telling them no, right? Like, that's part of my loyal to a fault, like, faulting. That's it. Like, I don't know how to, like, nah, I ain't really fucking with that right there. Because I just want to be like, I don't want them to be mad or resent me. So I will take all the grunt, and I won't voice my opinion. I just be like, fuck it, yeah, all right, let's do that. It was like, yeah, I don't want to. And now I feel a lot more comfortable. Like, I think a couple days, a couple weeks ago, she was like, hey, I need to run to Target. You want to go with me? I'm like, nah, I'm straight. I just want to kind of sit here. She was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll be back in a minute. And that's all it took. Like, a lot of experiences in the past literally just took me voicing my opinion and being honest. But I was like fearful of, like, making her upset or making her mad. And then now we got to deal with this bad energy because
I love going to Target unsupervised.
I know, like, I damn near
I
need to go with
lose
her.
my fucking mind.
She literally
every time.
does. I'm like, why the fuck do we need this baby crib? She's like, it was on sale. It was in the clearance.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna have a friend who has a baby, and we could just be like the ballers at the baby shower, like, hey, we bought you a whole fucking crib.
Never mind, the shit was bought 10 years ago and it got GMO and the bad plastic and all
Right,
that shit in it.
BPA and all that shit. Did you say GMO?
I don't know. I don't know what these things happen.
I see.
I don't know baby things.
He doesn't know things.
I don't know things. Thinking is hard.
Trademarked. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so this is one. Okay, the second one is actually one that got me, because I used to feel like arguments like were the end of the world. This is just the first. We're going to be able to pinpoint this was the start of the problem. This argument right here. And it's like, arguing is actually good. It's how you argue. And so I feel like we both have made like big changes in
yes.
how we handle disagreements. Because I'm a very shoot first, ask questions later
in your face
person. Very confrontational,
Oh,
and I'm
my
like, we about
God.
to talk about this now, and I don't care if you were asleep. Motherfucker, wake up. Like, and I'm talking all reckless, like and it's so crazy because even then, even at the worst with you, what was that face?
No, I was listening.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making a face. Even at the worst with you, I still wasn't as bad as I had been in relationships where I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So it's like
I
it could have
that.
legit been worse.
Yes.
But this is like,
And I didn't know if that was out of a respect thing or a love thing or
I
like
cared about the outcome of our relationship.
Okay, yeah.
So I fought different, or I argued different because I cared about the outcome, but it was still like it wasn't enough. I was still going too far, and I didn't realize it until we talked more and more about it. But in relationships, I didn't give a fuck. I mean, niggas have been bitches. Like, I don't care. We're doing everything except throwing hands.
Let me tell y'all something.
And I've
though.
also done that. Like
early on, I was like, hey, listen, just two things. I was like, I forgot what one of the things about I was like, but don't call me a bitch. Like I that's one thing I don't play about. Like I don't like, for certain people that ain't in my immediate circle, I don't care. I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want for the most part. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna give it no energy. But like people who I'm like I consider family, I would lay down my life for. If you call me a bitch or a bitch ass nigga or some shit like that, like it's gonna be very hard to come back from that. And for me, it was like, it's a respect thing. Like, because most of the people that are super close to me know the shit that I've done. They know the shit I'm capable of, and they know that that's not my character and all. And I know some people are like, oh, it's just a word. You shouldn't give it that much power. Well, here's the thing. Like, where I'm from, that's a very disrespectful word. Like, even in jail. Like, if you call somebody a bitch in jail, you've basically told the whole jail, I own him now. He's my bitch. And that's just nothing. It's something I've never really played with. I take that word very seriously, and that's the only thing I was like, yo, just don't ever disrespect me and call me a bitch. And other than that, we good. I'll take a whole lot of punk ass nigga, fuck ass nigga, oh suck ass. I'll take all that. I'll be all that. But bitch,
I've never even come to you like that.
We've never disrespected. I think in the 15 years that we've known each other, we had one argument a couple years ago where I raised my voice and I walked out and slammed the door. But I've never put my hands in her face. I've never grabbed her. None of like that. That's not one. I don't like arguing. It's not my character. I don't like raising my voice to make a point. I feel like we can be able to have a conversation and communicate effectively without me doing that. Now I get tempers rise and emotions are fueling it and all that type of stuff, and the voice is my. But for the most part, I try to remain calm because I don't want to escalate the situation. I know when I go there, I fucking go there. So I've always tried to refrain from that. And I think like a couple years ago, it was the one time like we got into it and we were in the bedroom and I forgot what we were getting into it about, but I think I was like, that's not what the fuck I'm saying or something like that. And then I walked out, slammed the door, and I walked out and drove away. But that was the only time. But like even with that, like again, I'm not close to her. Like I was at the door, she was on the bed, and that's how I went. But it's never been no thing where I'm going to blatantly disrespect her or no shit like that. That's just not who I am. I'm not cut on that cloth.
But also on the adverse side, like tiptoeing around shit too. Because I realized like in my effort to not be this like, in your face person or saying anything disrespectful, I would sugarcoat stuff and dance around it and then be like, we already talked about this. Why is it coming up again? It's like, because your point wasn't across because you weren't direct. You can be direct without being a bitch. And that was like, I didn't know the two. And now it's like, I know how to say exactly what I want to say and get my point across. And sometimes I have to acknowledge the fact that it's okay to have to say it multiple times. And because that used to frustrate me too. It's like, I already talked about that. I ain't talking about it again. It's like, no, you need to. Because sometimes a person's in a more receptive space than they were before. It's okay to repeat yourself.
And that's true. I know a lot of times in a relationship, like, oh, we already talked about that. I ain't finna bring that shit up again. It makes perfect sense to feel that way because I hate repeating myself. But what you just said right there is such a word because, take me 10 years ago when I'm not comfortable communicating, expressing myself. Like I don't know if we've talked about this before, but like I didn't know what to do to comfort her when she was sad. We got into it. Like I didn't she would be crying and I just could not do this.
He would stay, if he was standing across the room, he would stay there. And I would literally have to be like, so this is when you come over and tell me everything is going to be okay. Unless, of course, things are not going to be okay. Then say that.
I was incapable of it. I didn't know it because I had never experienced that type of comfort or that type of love, of that type of intimacy. I didn't know. So I was incapable of displaying it to her, displaying it to our daughter. Like, I just didn't know how to do it. So take me 10 years ago, at that point, you trying to have a conversation with me about something, I'm just like, I'm not receptive to or I can't embrace it because it's so foreign to me. But take me now when I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I did that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna work on that to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Right. Okay, and this one I like, and I actually have this is on the topic list, apologizing. Being okay with apologizing, because you hear all the time like women don't know how to apologize and all that. And I still remember like my very first like legit apology to you after we, started living together and everything. It was something with the kid. I can't even remember what the details were. Not that it's super important, but it was something with the kid, and I expected you to respond one way, but you didn't. That's not who you were. That's who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to you about it, and then I realized, like, yo, he's like, yes, we do not use the term step parent or stepfather or step kid. Like, we don't use that, but you are very new to this role, and you popped into something that's already been established between me and her. Mm-hmm. So of course there's going to be something. I was like, and I had to apologize to you for coming at you that way about how you dealt with her.
When she called you and I told her that the phone was only for emergencies, and I made her write, I would not use the phone. I would not call the phone or something like that.
Was it that?
I think it was that. Because I had to leave that day, too. You was like, when you leave, I'll be right home, something like that. Mm-hmm. When you got home, she was still writing. And she was crying.
No, because I remember, I don't know.
I mean, we were a united front in that, but then we talked about it later. Yeah. And I think it might have been that, because we haven't had too many of those.
Right. But I have no problem when I'm wrong and have cooled off and all that. I will wholeheartedly apologize to you, because, and I joked with you about it, but I mean it. Like, you're right a lot for a man.
I'll tell you.
And so it's like, you know what? I did not think of it from any point of view other than my own. And you're right. And I am sorry. I am wrong. And it's, yeah.
But she be right a lot too. I don't ever want to discredit Farron's logic, thinking, behavior, or anything.
That goes without saying.
In this point right here, totally wrong. You see that? You see what I was trying to do? I was trying to big her up, trying to lift the queen up on high. You see what she did? Wrong in that moment.
It's okay. So, oh man, check-ins. Like, actually, this list was not terrible, but it just didn't seem, when they broke out what they were saying. Like, this says, make time to talk about your relationship, but when they broke it out, it just wasn't explained well, and I had to use my own words, because I'm like, that doesn't explain. If anybody reads this, they're going to be very disappointed. But anyway, so in my own words, check-ins, how we do our relationship check-ins.
Yeah.
Talk about how we feel about it, where we see it going, what we need, just all those things, just making sure we're still on the same page. You good, I'm good. We realign, talk about our goals, whatever that is, and so that's important. All part of growing together.
Yeah, check-ins are definitely important.
Yes.
Gives you an opportunity and space to voice anything you may have been dealing with, if you choose to do so. Like, if somebody gives you the space to air all your grievances out, and you don't take advantage of it, you just choose to continue to hold on to it, which I used to do, admittedly so, then that's your own fault. Like, you have to put forth as much effort as you want your partner to exhibit. Yeah. So if you expecting them to just figure out everything that's going on in your mind and you haven't told them anything, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I like this one because it made me think about our Molly experience, share small adventures. And
we definitely tried the Molly together.
Yes.
It was crazy. Twice, yeah.
But yeah, I don't even wanna. I'm still healing.
You still healing for the Molly?
Yes. Remember, I crawled my dumb ass into a table.
Oh man, on a second trip. Yeah, that second trip of Molly had Farron gone. She was walking around. That's when we had rented that Airbnb. And we should say the area just in case that person watches this thing. But we had rented an Airbnb, and we were having fun. And she was, I don't know, she had a cover on her head, saying she was invisible. And then she was crawling on the ground, acting invisible, and she crawled right into a goddamn coffee table.
Oh, sturdy wood table.
Oh, real wood, too.
Head first right into it. I had the biggest fucking knot on my head.
She's like a unicorn for the rest of the trip.
But all I could say was, it's okay. It's okay. Everybody act normal.
Kluk. That's
Oh my God. I'm pretty sure I was concussed too. Like,
It's
I
very
hit that
possible.
table hard as fuck.
It's very possible. She was out here wilding out.
This is something you taught me, though, the schedule space for each other. Like, space alone. Something you taught me.
Yeah.
Because I did not understand that. Like, I only thought, I just took the alone time as it happened, where it rarely happened, but just like, oh, wow, I'm in this room by myself. No one else is sitting here. Let me, enjoy this. And then if someone happens to walk in or whatever, then whatever. It just wasn't a big deal because, and I realized like you actually needed like scheduled time to be just alone in your thoughts. No, you didn't want that chance of somebody walking in. You didn't want to feel like you needed to entertain someone and all of that. And I didn't understand that until you forced me to experience it. Then it was like, oh, I get it now. But actually, and it took me a couple tries because the first time I was like,
I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. This is weird. Yeah.
This is awkward. I'm just going to take a lot of naps. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
For this extended period, but now it's like
now you go, you take some naps, you drink, you take yourself out to dinner, you go shopping by yourself, you go shopping on your own schedule. You don't have to rush to make sure the kid gets here or gets back home to do homework. I don't have anything to shoot. You can literally be on your own time.
And just as a parent, it just feels good to only have to think about you.
See, and listen, this is something that I encourage relationships and marriages to do. Like, take some time for you, because when you're married, especially during this quarantine, and like we were joking about, like a lot of people like, yeah, I signed up for marriage, but I ain't signed up for 24-hour marriage. Like, it's every day. It's like, but had you like been already making sure that you had some alone time, some you time, to make sure that you are like, it's very important to come together when you're married. Like, you start adapting each other's beliefs and behaviors and things like that. But it's important not to lose you. Like,
and spending time with friends is not alone time. We're talking time just to yourself.
Just to yourself.
Working, not entertaining anyone. It's just your time.
Yes. Just relaxing, watching what you want to watch until you fall asleep, wake up and finish watching it some more. Like, that is important. I had to literally force her to do it. Like, sometimes I would have to book her room, but like, this is where you're going this weekend, because she would fight me on it tooth and nail. But I'm like, yo, like, you need this. Like, she is always providing for somebody. If not me, the kid. If not us, the work. Then if not work, then her friends or the gym or working on and she talks about me working all the time, but never takes breaks. Like, almost worse than me. So I had to, like, damn near force her, like, yo, you got to take some time for you. I don't need it. I mean, I don't mind. I hear you. I know you don't mind it, but you don't know what you've been missing, because you have not rewarded yourself the time to relax. You have not rewarded yourself the time to be alone. You have not rewarded yourself the ability to just worry about yourself since you've had a kid. For 15 years, damn near, you've been doing for at least one other person, if not more. You have not taken any time, and it's very important to do that. Like, with everything closed right now, it's not as easy, but like, I can't wait till I can send her to a spa. Like, I did that one year on tour.
You sent me to that Korean spa.
Yeah, and then we were there all day.
I was there all day. Yeah, it just goes to show, because if I had done it, I probably would have been there 3 hours max. The way you spaced the treatments out, I was there for like fucking 8 hours.
You have, yeah. Because she needed it,
why
man.
did he do it so long? I'm just here. But then I was like, well, I'm stuck here. Yeah. So let me just embrace it. And I grabbed a book that I ended up stealing from the spa, and I just,
she's a thief,
took time to visit. Like, they had a little ice room, and then some saunas. Like, it was really nice. And they even had a cafe, so I grabbed something to eat. It was really nice to be forced to slow down like that, because I maybe would have been there 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because I would have this treatment and
massage,
this treatment
yep.
and been out the door.
Yeah. No, man.
Yeah.
You got to take those dates for yourself, man. And I'm
And
one to
no-
talk. I'm just now learning to take personal time.
Yeah.
Like my personal time was like I scrolling the internet, finding a video to make for the next day or the 2 days after that. I'm literally just learning how to do this and embrace it. And I realized how essential it was for me. So I had to share it with her. And she thought it was just like getting away from the family, you know, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
have to
took
talk.
it hella
She
personally.
did. She took it hella personal. Like,
Yeah.
well, why do you need to do that? And like, cause sometimes I would do it even on tour. And she was like, well, you've been gone every weekend. Why do you need time to yourself again? I'm like, well, I'm on tour with 6 to 8 other people. I'm sharing a room with at least one other person. I'm in airplanes with multiple people. I'm performing for hundreds, if not thousands of people. I don't have any time to myself except when I go to the bathroom. When I come here, I'm trying to engage and entertain you guys as well. I don't have a time to like literally turn off and not do, say, or think anything. And it took a minute for her to accept that, because when your partner, especially your spouse, tells you, I want to get away from you, that's what you hear, even though they say, hey,
That's what you hear.
I need some personal time for me to make sure I'm okay and also to relax. What you're going to hear is, I got to get the fuck away from you and this punk ass kid, and do my own shit for a couple days.
And I also realized that I remember the first time you said that, you know, you needed to get away, and it was like I was on board for that one time, but then it became like a regular thing, and that's when it like really hit that I started taking it personally, and it took me a minute to, you know, it took me a while to realize like it had nothing to do with me, nothing to do with me, and I only wanted you to do it when it was convenient for me. And I was like, well, that's not fair. So once I let all that go, and now it's like, okay, bye.
Literally. I'll see you on Sunday, nigga.
Right. Okay, bye. Did you pack? Bye. So it's gotten a lot better. That was I feel like that was one of our big pivots. You even feeling comfortable enough to tell me that's what you needed.
Yeah.
And then me getting to the point where realizing it's not about me. It was about what you needed, and it was fine. And
I'm going to be honest with you, it was not easy. That's another one of those things that was a difficult conversation. Because I even talked to friends, like even Kev. I'm going to put Kev out there. I talked to Kev, like, Kev, you should get a room for the weekend and just be by yourself. He's like, oh man, Melissa isn't gonna go for that. I was like, and I get that. A lot of people feel that way because they don't see the need for it. But somebody like Kev, in my opinion, needs it the most. He never stops. Actually, Kev probably stops more than I do, because like he will turn his phone off and go to sleep around 9:30. Me, I still got another show to do. I might have a show to do after that.
You say he go to sleep around 9:30.
Yeah, like for real, he'll go to sleep. But like, it's important to make sure that you're okay. It's important to make sure that you have a time where you don't have to have any responsibilities, if you can. You know what I'm saying? If you're a single parent, I get that. You might not have any family to watch the kids or something like that. But if you have the opportunity to get away, to unplug, to just relax for a weekend, uninterrupted, don't take all your work with you. You just go and relax, take a bath, just like for real, like chill, put a bath bomb, fellas. Don't feel no type of way. Get you a good ass bath bomb, get you a face mask, get the feet thing. You put your foot in there, it's like a glove. It makes your foot feel all smooth. Man, treat yourself, bro. I'm telling you, you'll feel better afterwards. And it makes you appreciate the little time that you do have to yourself for that in that moment, man. And it's important. I really feel like it's important.
Absolutely. And another one was diversity of relationships is also key.
I don't know what that means.
Having friendships outside of your marriage. Like we don't have necessarily the same friend circles. We hang out with some of the same people, but you also have your people that you hang out, and I have mine. And that's, also
and that's one
something that helps.
Where we at with time, Cam? We have 44 minutes? Yeah. We got to push through this, but that's very important, because I remember when she first moved out here, Farron was
had no one.
She had no one, right? And I'm like, yo, you gotta start embracing. I would introduce her to people
all alone.
I would introduce her to people, and she would never follow up. She didn't try to nurture those relationships, and I get it. Like, it's like, I don't know these people. You know these people, so it's more comfortable when we're all around and you try to build the relationships. But it's also like you have to try to make that effort too. and it was one of Reach's events.
Mm-hmm.
You went to her house where you met Kendra,
Mm-hmm.
and you just kind of kept in contact with Kendra.
I
and that's,
met Kendra and Frida, I think.
Yeah.
At the place. Yeah.
So and that was the beginning. And now like low key, Farron got probably more friends than me. Like I have a lot of like work relationships that are also friends, but like she have people that she can go hiking with, just chilling with. They just go to the park and just sit down and talk and do just like shit you would see on Friends. They had Central Perk just having cups of coffee.
Central Perk. You said you didn't watch it. I knew your ass was lying.
I didn't say I didn't watch it. I just said it was my favorite show.
Lying ass liar who lies.
But yeah, man, like it's important to make sure you have that diversity in friends. I absolutely agree with that.
Absolutely. So I feel like just doing this research and stuff, I feel like we're in a good place. We're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
You know that you feel fine, you feel like you're good, but it's always good to be validated.
Yes.
It feels good. So, we out here.
We out here, fam.
So, yeah, that's it. That's all that I wanted to share from that list because everything else is kind of stupid.
And there be a lot of stupid shit on these lists, man.
Yes. Yeah. But
You and your partner need to make sure you carve time out to crochet together. Bitch, what?
Right. It's like we have to specifically crochet. Stop. But anyway, yeah. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
assuming unless this is the first episode, then thanks for joining
This
us.
won't be the first one. We're gonna start with something juicy.
Ooh.
Yeah, this was good. This was one to like,
He felt
to
that.
keep it moving, and this is good for a relationship. This is one of the ladies are gonna listen to, and they're gonna be like, "Man, you gotta listen to this one. They foolish, but they got a lot of good stuff in here too." So this is gonna be one of those. I definitely pick.
You think so?
Yeah, and shout out to the Patreon because I think it's still going.
Yeah.
This is
You
one
sure
of the
you want to go
episodes.
get up and check it?
Nah, they there. I got faith. This third time's a charm. So shout out to Patreon. They're watching this too. If you guys want to see early episodes, you guys can join the Patreon. You guys will see one of the 4 episodes that we film throughout the show. Throughout our filming, and you'll get exclusive access to that before it's doctored up and prettied up. You see the rawness. The rawness.
Ew.
You like that one?
Ew.
Mac and cheese
Ew.
rawness. That's got to be a segment. We got to figure out how to put that in a segment. Y'all ready for the rawness?
Ew.
It's like the rawness. Yes, it's so moist.
You will not make that sound and say moist in the same
Bet I do. Thank y'all for watching, man. We'll
Yes,
see you next
thank
week.
you.
Stay tuned for another episode of
More to the story.
More to the Story.
More to the story.
More to the story.
story.
Kevin's just waiting to cut us off. Look at us. All right, Kevin, we out.